Good evening, America. I am Eric Little. It is the 29th day of October 2020. It is National Cat Day. Yeah, I'm not really a cat guy, but I know a lot of you are, so be nice to your cat today. There are 5 days left until the end of the general election. I'm in Southern California this evening, and this is the plain truth. Okay, so I'm looking at Trump doing all these super spreader rallies all over the country. And by the way, in North Carolina, they are now starting to confirm coronavirus cases that are at these rallies. There's a couple of counties where he's gone to the rallies, and now they've been able to trace him back to these rallies. So let there be no more doubt of exactly what he's doing. Let me just give you a couple of public service announcements. Number one, if you have a mail-in ballot, it's too late. You need to take it in person. Either take it to the office, the registrar's office, the state office, or or authorized drop box. You can go on iwillvote.gov, and they will tell you where you can drop it. It is too late to put it in the mail. There are some major cities, Cleveland, Philadelphia, where the on-time delivery rate is down in the 60s because of all the shenanigans and taking out the voting machines. It is too late to put it in the mail now. So if you don't want to wait in line at the polling place or whatever, you can still drop it. You just need to drop it in an authorized drop box or go to a voting location and hand it to a human being. It is too late to put it in the mail. Now, as far as these liars we're dealing with, you know, the trick to being a good liar is two things. One, don't keep changing your story. And two, the lie has to be believable. I'm here in Southern California. If I put out another video 10 minutes from now saying I'm in Philadelphia, that's not believable. There's no way I could have got from Los Angeles to Philadelphia in 10 minutes. You just have to, the lies have to be somewhat plausible. These people are telling like I'm used to Donald Trump telling lies that are easily provable, like I signed Veterans Choice. All you gotta do is go on the internet and pull out a video on YouTube of Obama signing Veterans Choice in 2014. But he keeps telling this lie. It doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't care about the truth at all. But now he's got the other people doing it. He was at a rally in Georgia, and Kelly Loeffler, who's never won anything, I want to be clear on that. She was appointed senator when the other senator retired or left or took another job or whatever. So now she's running for re-election, and she's losing to Warnock. But Reverend Warnock is beating the brakes off of her. But during one of the interviews or debates or something, she was asked, because she said she's proud of this, she had a 100% voting record with Donald Trump. And so the guy said, well, you agree with everything he's ever done? And she was like, well, I believe he's fighting for America. So he brought up the Access Hollywood tape. You agree with that? And she said, I'm not familiar with the Access Hollywood tape. Okay, stop. I'd have more respect for you if you just said, look, I don't agree with what he said in that tape, but I still think he's fighting for Americans, and that's why I vote with him, or something like that. Don't pretend you never heard of the Access Hollywood tape. There's no way. Everybody in America's heard of that tape. Everybody in America's heard that tape. Especially somebody who's in politics for a living. You can't, that'd be like Tom Brady saying, what is a goal line? I never heard of it. That doesn't make any sense. LeBron James can't say, what's a free throw? I never heard of it. That's basically what she did. You can't, the access, there are certain things in life that go beyond the genre that they're in. You can't say, I never heard of Michael Jackson. That's ridiculous. You don't have to listen to pop music, but you know who he is. You know who Madonna is. Like, I don't know anything about opera, but I heard of Pavarotti. You can't say, I never heard of it. That's just ridiculous. And this is the kind of thing that I stress when I talk about these things, is that they're not even believable lies. So now we have 5 days left to the election, roughly 120 hours or so, the returns will start coming in. And, a lot of people are worried, a lot of Democrats voted by mail, and some states count the mail afterwards, whatever, and Trump, well, we must know on election night. Let's be clear on something. We never know the results on election night. The media, the TV shows, they make projections based on exit polling data. We never know. How many times have we seen the 2000 tape of Florida where the exit polls show Al Gore was leading and then they had to take it back and then they ended up counting for days and days? Those are just projections based on exit polls. We never know election night. That's just nonsense. Until they certify the vote, it's just nonsense. But here are some things to look for. Florida counts their early votes, before the election. So in other words, if you vote today, they go ahead and count it today. They don't, they put it in the machine, they feed the machine, they don't know where it's gonna go. But once the polls close at 7 p.m. on election night, they turn the switch on and it tells them what the tally is. Okay, 1 million people voted for this guy, 2 million people voted for that guy. And then they start counting the votes from that day. North Carolina does that as well. So we may start to get I'm not sure if Arizona does it, I believe they do. But we may start to get a signal of how it's gonna happen. In other words, if Trump wins Florida, we got a ball game. Then we can start looking at Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. If Trump loses Florida, it's over with. It doesn't really matter because there's no, if you look at every possible path Trump has to get in 270 elections, they all include Florida. So that's one thing. If he loses Florida, you can go to bed. It's over with. There's no way to win the presidency for him without Florida. So that's something you can look for. Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona. Trump has to win them all. If he loses any one of them, it's pretty much over. Florida, definitely. So there are some signs. I mean, we won't know all of the different states and how many electoral votes each one had. We won't know that probably for a week because of so much mail-in ballot. And a lot of states aren't good at it because it's like their first time taking this many. Like a state like Oregon, Colorado, they've been doing it for years. So they can give you an accurate count. Oregon give you a count 1 second after the polls close. They just click the switch and Biden won or whatever. So you have to be patient with, say, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, they don't allow them to count until the polls are closed. In other words, they're not even allowed to open the envelopes until the polls are closed. So it's going to take a while. You might have 2 million people voting by absentee or through the mail. And so, you're talking about opening 2 million envelopes, even with a whole team of people. That's going to take a while. So, with a state like Pennsylvania, you're just going to have to be patient. You probably won't know Pennsylvania for 5 to 6 days. You probably won't know Wisconsin for probably 3 days. You'll know Michigan probably a day or two. But there are indications, some states count beforehand, some states start counting the morning of election day. So they can have pretty much all of them counted by the end of the day or close, or at least a significant enough number to know where this is going. In other words, if you counted all the precincts except the black ones and it's 50-50, you know where this is going. Trump is going to lose. He's not going to go 50-50 in the black community. So there's certain indicators that they can tell that, the news medias will be able to call. And that's basically all they do. But, you don't need to be alarmed if it doesn't come right out election night and say, hey, this person won or that person won, especially at these Senate races, because these Senate races are in some of these states where they count last. So, we'll know Colorado right away. Cory Gardner is going down. We'll know Florida right away. We'll know Georgia pretty quick. North Carolina, we should know right away. Cal Cunningham's going to win that. So just be patient and don't freak out if, they say Trump is leading in the state. It doesn't matter if he's leading because more of the absentee ballots and vote by mail stuff is going to be a Democratic. So just be patient, and the news media needs to be patient in calling the race. You control what you can control. You vote, and you take as many people as you can to vote, and make sure your vote is counted, because they're going to do everything they can to try to steal it. We just have to overwhelm them. Everybody get out. Remember I said no excuses election. We need to do this together, and that is the plain truth, as I see it. And I am Eric Little. Get out and vote. Good night.